Good Monday morning. It's March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, and I want to wish you all a happy St. Patrick's Day. And we brought you some sunrises last week from down south in South Carolina, North Carolina, and all the way back up to East Tennessee, our home state. We're back in the studio today to talk to you about a fun weekend to watch TV and look at what was going on with regard to the weather patterns across the United States. The people in Mississippi and Alabama, God bless them all. They've gotten hit with some tornadoes and very destructive wind storms, hailstorms. And we ourselves just missed it coming up. We left a day early from South Carolina, and it's a darn good thing because we would have been caught in that hail and wind, especially coming up the 95 corridor there, which most people travel back and forth from north to south. Politically, everything is just the same. The hatred for Donald Trump and the hatred for Elon Musk is continuing to disturb the good deeds that have been done by both of those individuals, especially with Elon Musk getting down to the bottom of where the waste and spending has been inside the government for a number of years now, and it's not just one administration, but certainly the abuse was very, very evident in the last 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration, and the fear of what can come out is driving the nuts on the other side. Well, just briefly take a look here.
Democrats ever actually had leverage in this fight?
What leverage do we have? Democrats keep showing up at every night fight with a casserole. And they have these cheesy paddles. And then they, pick your fight or cheese ball stuff.
That's the saddest thing I've ever seen.
What's your response to Senator Fetterman?
He's not the one to talk about anything. I mean, this is a guy that doesn't seemingly want to own a suit. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, we know.
And I think that it is important that people see that we're real people. And even if that means that there's a moment to laugh, that's okay, especially since it seems like we're doing more crying than anything.
So
cut the crybaby shit.
Whereas Senator Fetterman is consistently walking around the Senate chamber, and he is walking around in such a way that they literally had to change the rules in the Senate so that he could walk around that way. So I just don't think that he's necessarily the one to actually have an opinion about this.
I really don't care what you think.
It's almost ridiculous on what fear will do to people that sit in power afraid of being exposed for some of the nonsense they may have been involved in and or not involved in. We don't know at this particular point because the curtain has been drawn slightly up, and before we get a full look behind that curtain, we have to listen to the likes of Jasmine Crockett and AOC, who both should be ashamed of themselves at what they're pulling off. We know that AOC wants to be primarying Schumer, although I love to see Schumer being primaried. It shouldn't be by someone who is worse off. At least he has knowledge of what's really going on in the world and in government today, because he's been behind it long enough to where he can offer a somewhat institutionally smart opinion on several things where I don't believe AOC possesses the nature to do that, as well as the smarts to do that. God bless her, but she has shown time and time again about her reluctant to understand what really is taking place inside our government today, or has in the past. It's like her calling the illegal infestation of our country non-criminal, and so on and so on. And don't forget that RICO is just a category. Never forget that. And this one wants to be the leader of the the party. I don't believe so. This party has imploded. This party continues to refuse to understand why they lost the election in November, and they continue not to understand what we, the people, had voted for with regard to getting rid of waste and crime and illegal aliens that are in this country with criminal records, and thank goodness that is being cleaned up by this administration. Especially my hat is off to Tom Homan, who has the charge of making sure that this continues to happen. And then we got Chuck Schumer, of course, and the fight between him and Fetterman, and we'll take a look at this.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is feeling the heat from members of his own party.
Here's Schumer on the Senate floor yesterday.
While the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse. For sure, the Republican bill is a terrible option. But I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option.
Some Democrats weren't happy with Schumer conceding to Republican CR bill. Here's Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I think there is a deep sense of outrage and betrayal. And this is not just about progressive Democrats. This is across the board, the entire party. There are members of Congress who have won Trump-held districts in some of the most difficult territory in the United States, who walked the plank and took innumerable risks in order to defend the American people, in order to defend Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, just to see Senate Democrats even consider acquiescing to Elon Musk. I think it is a huge slap in the face, and I think that there's a wide sense of betrayal if things proceed as currently planned. If people think this is a left issue or a right issue, it's not. It's genuinely not. This is about our values and what we stand for, and it's about the right thing and the wrong thing. And we have time to correct course, and I think that's the most urgent message of them all.
One Democrat told CNN that some in the House are going so far as to push Ocasio-Cortez to run against Schumer in a primary. For the CR bill to pass, Republicans will need 60 votes in the Senate, which means they need Democrats. The House passed the 6-month funding bill earlier this week, mostly on party lines.
Other Democrats piled on Schumer, with Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman writing on X, "Respectfully, Senator Schumer, no. This Republican bill is bad for workers, bad for our veterans, bad for our seniors. Republicans should pull it and let us get back to work crafting a budget that works for all of our families."
Former Biden advisor Susan Rice also piled on, writing in part, "Every Senate Dem should vote no on cloture and no on the CR. No self-respecting Democratic lawmaker who takes his or her responsibility to their constituents and the Constitution seriously can vote for this despicable Trump-Musk power grab CR." I don't think we can say that, but you'll know what the acronym stands for. WTF, Senator Schumer, please grow a spine and quickly.
And Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett wrote, "It is clear that some of us understand the present danger and some don't. I stand by the no vote on the blank check for Trump and Elon. I've got no explanation nor agreement with Senate Dems being complicit in Trump's tyranny. Meanwhile, President Trump wrote in part on Truth Social, "Congratulations to Chuck Schumer for doing the right thing. Took guts and courage. The big tax cuts, LA fire fix, debt ceiling bill, and so much more is coming. We should all work together on that very dangerous situation."
And it continues to get worse every day with Maxine Waters and everyone that's out in the streets screaming that Elon Musk is trying to steal our money. Well, let's get to the bottom of maybe who really was stealing the money. Where did the money go? How much of the pardons and allocation of money were signed by an electronic signature or a rubber stamp that Biden never even had seen, but it got signed? Is that mean that these particular instances are null and void? This is up to some courts to change. When the courts decide to having their Obama and Soros-appointed judges and AGs stop trying to get Trump and now get Elon, maybe they could look into some of the crime that had taken place throughout the years of administration, such as the Obama and Biden administration. Biden is hand in hand right through with Obama. And don't forget that famous film of him sitting in the Ukraine saying, if you don't fire the person that's looking into my son and his company, you're not getting these several $100 billion that you've been promised. And that was blackmail, but nothing ever was done by that. But these judges have decided that they joined uninvitedly into the executive branch here to make decisions and cancel decisions made by the President of the United States. Just close your eyes and imagine for a moment that that would be allowed to happen during the Biden administration, the Obama administration, the Clinton administration. They would be told to go pound salt. That's what that would have entailed. And that would have been the end of a lower court judge deciding executive decisions for this country. They were not elected to do that. They were appointed for a reason, and that was to weaponize the justice system. Just look at the case in New York. It was written all over the face of that judge, and his daughter during that trial was out raising millions of dollars. And we don't know what the accounting efforts were on that. We still don't know what the accounting efforts were on the 10% for the big guy. It continues to go on. And then on the other side of the coin, we have the criminal behavior of several of these idiots that were running around with Hunter Biden and the like, covering up where those dollars were going. And then when the court found them on tax evasion, he gets a pardon for everything. So we have to look back at that when it comes to the midterm elections. And especially these judges that are out of line should be censured and put off the bench. And this is a product that has to come in front of and be handled by the Department of Justice under Pam Bondi and the FBI under Kash Patel. And he has to look into where all of this information was hidden on Hunter Biden, where the information on the supposed release of the Epstein files, what was taking place there, who was involved, and so on. So we need answers to this, and that brings us to figuring out the answers to the attempted assassination on Donald J. Trump during his run for the presidency, and also what became of the evidence gathered within hours in Butler, Pennsylvania, that no one knows anything about now. So let's look into that. Let's not be looking into Elon Musk. We know who Elon Musk is. And by the way, Elon, thank you very much for going after the astronauts that were stranded up there by Joe Biden and his administration. And thank you for putting together the wherewithal to have the utility to bring those people home. We watched the launch the other day. It was magnificent. And AOC, if you think that he's the stupidest man you've ever met, you should have seen that rocket booster come back to Earth, throw out its landing gear, and sit on a barge as easy as I set it there like that. And if you think that that man is the stupidest man you've ever met, you need to have a reevaluation of what your mind is telling you, or possibly get some medication to help with that, because that is not a stupid man by any stretch of the means. He has no business. He has a lot of businesses that are being unattended while he's trying to help us achieve a balanced budget in our government. By the way, not being paid to do this, he has employees in the DOGE section that are looking into bringing our computer systems back up to snuff, and that includes the FAA. And by the way, you're being fed a ton of false information on the situations that are taking place with some aircraft accidents that have been reported, such as the engine fire the other day and landing. These are not anything to do with cutbacks in the FAA. They're currently, right now, trying to hire people at the FAA with the knowledge and experience that will bring us back into a better situation of safety in the skies today. We have an antiquated system, and it's being looked into by, in my estimation, a genius and his group of geniuses that will help us do this. So the other side, this morning news alone, was just nothing but running down Elon Musk and why is he doing this and blah, blah, blah. And it's now Musk derangement syndrome is almost as big as the Trump derangement syndrome, if not surpassing it, by some of these idiots that are sitting in seats in Congress and taking up space for, in some cases, 40 years.
It is important that we take a step forward and undo the damage that Mr. Musk caused.
Really?
And the legislation that we are proposing today would in fact begin to take us back where we were. It would increase funding for community health centers and do all of the other important work that Senator Wyden wanted. We have a health care crisis in America today. The CR that we're going to be voting on in a little while will make a bad situation worse.
What the hell?
This is an opportunity to tell the American people that we are aware of the health care crisis. We are at least trying to do something.
We don't need you any longer. We need new people. You look at the Generation X and those people, young people that are willing to get involved in government. They will help bring this Constitution back into relevance one more time and save this republic for what it stands for, founded by the founding fathers to be the best in the world, and we have been for a long time now. We're going to celebrate 250 years in existence with a great history. If you want to believe the fractured history of MSNBC, CNN, and the like, and the three legacy networks that continue to pump out sitcoms that are ridiculously tainted with DEI behaviors that they want to make mainstream, and we have voted against it. We're tired of it. We're tired of listening about why you're so special, why you need to be special. We should be on our knees thanking God for the beautiful country that we have to live in, and pray every day for those that are leading us back into reality from a fantasy land that we've lived in for the last 4 years. It's been funny at first, scary in the middle, and downright devastating toward the end of that administration. And thank God for enough of us that understood that and voted against it. And now we have the party that lost is at civil war with itself, and they all would like to reverse it, but they cannot. They do not have any cards left in this game. They have to reorganize, and they have to go back to what the party was set up to be, for the people, by the people, and not dictating to the people. We are their boss, and never, ever forget that. It's going to be a rainy day in Boston and New York for the big Paddy's Day parades today, so it'll be a lot of wet involved in those Patrick's Day celebrations today. So a lot will head indoors immediately. Hopefully, all my friends at the parade today should enjoy. We hope that there will not be any demonstrations like there were all weekend of these idiots that are out there with the pro-Palestinian flags. It's an Irish day today, and for everyone today identifying as Irish, I want you to have the best time ever. It is a great place to be in New York during the Paddy's Day parade. And for all my friends at Connolly's over there, I'm going to say, hi, Mr. Connolly. I'll miss you this year, but maybe next year we'll be back. And anyway, we wish you all from the Kaiser Report, Kaiser and I say, happy St. Patrick's Day, and enjoy a Guinness on me. But I can't be there personally, but enjoy and have a great day. And from the Kaiser Report, we'd like to say, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more celebration. And I hope you enjoyed the intro here with a little brief history of what St. Patrick's Day is all about. So with that, bye-bye now.